Call me Ishmael. Yes, we're in search of those white whales, the literary white whales, those books that hang around your neck that you've been meaning to read for so long, and you think you're going to love them, but you've just not read them. I'm following up the white whale theme. My name's Duncan, and welcome to Back Away from the Donkey, your Bath Books. I saw a video from Michael Vaughan the other day, which was about literary white whales, and then it pointed me in the direction of Stephen Donahue's one, and it seems to be all the cool kids are doing this. So as I wish to be in that gang, I thought I'd do my own 4 literary white whales. Books that have just sort of hung around my neck and sort of haunted me that I never get round to reading, even though I think I'm really going to like them. But yeah, so where shall we start? Let's start with James Corrie's Expanse series. I have Leviathan Wakes here. I've got the second book, Caliban's War, there, and I got these years and years ago, wanting to read them because I've heard such good things about them, and I've never got around to reading them. I don't know why. I've watched the series. The series I really enjoyed. It was one of the best newish science fiction series on TV in a long while, and I really liked it. So really, I should get into the books and I should read the books, but I've just not got around to them. I said they've been sat on my bookshelf for, when was this actually published? That might help me work out when it was. 2012ish it was published. I got it a bit after that. I probably had it for at least 6-7 years. Never got around to reading it. That's the only science fiction one in my list, so if you're here for the science fiction, you can take your cups of tea and go away. So, and my next little white whale is Erskine Childers, The Riddle of the Sands. This is a book. I remember watching the film. The film's got Jenny Agutter, Simon McCorkindale, and who's the other one? Englishman. Was in Logan's Run. Michael York. That was it. Michael York in it. And I really enjoyed the film. I remember seeing the film as a kid in the 70s, and the film is actually quite hard to get hold of. I've actually got a copy of it, but it is quite hard. And it's about, basically, it's pre-First World War, and it's about it's what's known as one of the first spy novels, and it's about the build-up to the First World War and the Germans hiding and this guy on a boat holiday. And I said the film I really like. It's counted as one of the first spy novels, and Erskine Childers is actually quite an interesting man himself, because he was part of the IRA and he ended up being executed later on in his life. And I've always wanted to read this, and I keep meaning to read it, and I just don't. And here it is. Nice Penguin edition of The Riddle of the Sands. And I don't know why I've not got around to reading it. But yes, I haven't. So now on to the third of my 4 literary white whales. This is the wonderful travel writer, Bill Bryson. A Short History of Everything. I have got 2 versions of this book. I've got one over on the shelf. Sorry, I've got that book in my hand here. I've got one over on the bookshelf across that way, which my wife brought me basically when it was released, thinking that I would love it. And she's probably right, because I like Bill Bryson's writing. This version here, this really nice version here, my friend sent me recently with the my famous box of books that was more of a sort of time capsule, because they were actually my books. But he sent me a copy of this, thinking I'd really like it. And so I've now got another copy of this book, and I've still not got around to reading it. I think I may have read before the first chapter. It wasn't like I got bored of it, I just sort of went away from it, and I've never read it. So, yep, so that one needs to be, maybe I need to have a list of these things and actually get around to reading this year. So the fourth of my literary white whales is another classic. Cervantes, Don Quixote. This is another book I think I will really like. And this is another book I have read the first couple of chapters of, but I never seem to get any further. It's not because I'm bored, and not because I don't want to read it. it's just I don't get any further. I just go off and do something else. So I don't know why, because the idea of the story I really, really like. So it's a classic story of sort of romantic knight fiction and fantasy, and it's Don Quixote. I need to read this. Maybe it's the size of it, because what is it? This Penguin edition is nigh on 1,000 pages long. 1,000 pages. If you did 100 pages a week, which is easy to do, that's 10 weeks, 2.5 months. So that's not hard, is it? So why don't I read it? Don't know. But anyway, so those are 4 of my literary white whales. To add to the list of all the cool kids are doing it. I said, oh, notice that MJ had one out earlier, which I've not watched yet, which I'm going to go and watch soon. But yeah, my 4 literary white whales, and I will speak to you all very soon, and I'd be happy to see anybody else's, and any comments on people who've actually read these books, and what do they think of them, and why I should read them. Please tell me. Anyway, if the light's been moving around on this, it's because the sun outside keeps changing its mind, and the autofocus on the phone might be doing weird things. But anyway, I will speak to you all very soon, and thanks very much for watching me, and have a nice weekend.